So I've been wanting to make this video for a little while now. I was looking up how to install Ubuntu Touch on a phone because I wanted to see what you can do with Ubuntu Touch, and I wasn't finding a video that was good enough for me that really showed what you can do with the Ubuntu phone. So I just decided to install it on a phone myself and then play with it afterward. So since that's the path I had to take, I'm going to show you how to install Ubuntu Touch on an Android phone. It's going to be a Nexus 4, and then I'll play around with the phone, show you what apps are available, what you can do with it, if it can be a replacement for your current Android. I know my answer to that, but I'll go through that later. So here we go. So this website here, don't worry about copying it. I put it in the link below. I'll probably type it on the screen. I don't want to talk too much. I just kind of want to dive into it. So this is my Windows machine here. As you can tell, I am installing Ubuntu on my Nexus 4 that I bought off Amazon for like $60, and I'm installing it from my Ubuntu laptop, which is just a spare laptop I had for a long time. So I put Ubuntu 16 on that. I'm not going to show you how to install Ubuntu 16, but when in these instructions, prepare your desktop right here. It'll show you how to put Ubuntu on a computer if you want to do it this way. You can do it with Windows if you like, but I'm just doing it this way because I actually like using Linux, and I already had this up and running anyway. So since I'm screen recording on my Windows machine, I'm just going to use PuTTY to interact with my Ubuntu computer, and this should be able to show you everything, just like on the actual terminal on the system itself. So it's just a little bit easier with the screen record. So I'm pretty much going to do this right along with the instructions. I have done it before, so if there's any little things that, any quirks or anything that I found, I will vet those accordingly. So first is, these are links. You can kind of jump around if you like, but prepare your desktop, which I'm going to skip that. Save your Android data. I'm going to start with that one, so I'm just going to click on it here. And also, saving your Android data, I'm going to see if this works, because it's supposed to save a backup. Ubuntu will just save a backup, and I'm kind of curious. I haven't used it yet. I'm kind of curious to see if it's actually going to save a decent backup, or if it's just going to be documents, or if it's actually going to be apps. Basically go to settings, and then you're going to scroll all the way down to about phone, and then you're going to go to Android. You're going to go to build number, and then you're going to click on that 7 times. You're going to go to developer options. You're going to go to USB debugging. You're going to click it on. Mine is already clicked on. And then you can do it now, or you could have done it 5 minutes ago, but now you physically connect your phone via USB cable to the computer which you're going to install Android on. After you connect your device, you're going to want to hit OK to the message that comes up on your phone. So now when you run ADB devices, it should come up as a device. Okay, that's what you want. Alright, so next. So this is just a tip. case it's not working for you. Mine worked. It should work for you too. Alright, so here's where you're going to do the backup. Here's a link to reinstalling, so I'm going to do that later. I'm not going to show it, but I do want to see if that backup works, so I'll add that in the video later. So to do the backup, you're going to type in the code there, abd backup dash apk space dash shared space dash all, and then hit enter. And then on your device, it'll say backup my data or don't backup my data. You want to choose backup my data if that's what you want to do, which it is if you're doing this process. Alright, so it says backup finished on my device. So now, next step, you can record your build and all that good stuff. I don't think I'm going to record anything because I'm just going to reinstall Android 5. So basically we're going to be moving on to unlocking your Android device. So I bought my Nexus 4 off Amazon. It was already unlocked, so I didn't need to do this process, but I'm going to show the process because it won't hurt anything. So unlocking the device, we did a backup and we are in USB debugging, so that's good. So now you're going to do this code here. Let's see, adb reboot bootloader, and then let me start my record on my phone. Sorry, I'm recording the phone with my other phone. I don't have a good screen capture on there, and maybe I'll worry about that later. So my Nexus 4 is rebooting now, and it should boot into a menu like this. So on the very bottom it says lock state unlocked in red. That means the bootloader is already unlocked, and you don't need to do anything about that. This is also the fast boot mode. It shows that at the very top, and it shows, so this is it. So it's already unlocked. But if yours is not, I'll show you how to unlock it. So to verify you're connected, you can type in fastboot devices, and we are connected. We already know we're connected, but I guess that verifies for you. I actually had to use that on a different phone when I tried installing Ubuntu on just a different Chinese phone, like a Yuntab or something, and it wasn't working. But with a Nexus 4, it works almost the first time flawlessly. So if you need to unlock your phone, you're going to type in sudo, gives you kind of administrative access, fastboot OEM unlock, and enter, and then you put in your password for the computer Ubuntu is installed on. So mine failed because it's already unlocked, which it says that on the screen, so that's fine. When I got my phone, it was already unlocked, so I never had to do that at all. And then, so after you do that, you're gonna do a fastboot reboot. Oh yeah, so when you do the just real quick, when you do the fastboot OEM unlock, you have to accept the terms on your device, and then that's about it. And then you'll reboot. Whoops, wrong one. Then you do a fastboot, reboot. And if you do this on Windows, it'll be similar. I don't know if it's the exact same. I was watching a couple videos and it's similar, the code and terminology, so I think this might work almost the same. Select your device image channel. So this is where it gets a little tricky, but basically I'll just show you real quick. So I didn't know this the first time I used it, but selecting your image channel, you don't actually do anything with this website, but what you do is it's like a path system. So you want Ubuntu Touch, so you click on that, and then you want stable, so you click on that, then you want Ubuntu, and then you want I'm just going to use the instructions that are here. But so you would stop at this part, and basically up here you would use this path when typing in Ubuntu, and I'll show that in just a second here. So I'm going to use this code here because this worked the last time. I'm trying to put this so you can, well, you'll see the code on there. So Ubuntu dash device dash flash touch space dash dash channel. I'm actually not gonna say this because if you're watching the video it might be a little distracting. So right here where it's channel equals Ubuntu dash touch dash stable dash Ubuntu, that's pretty much what we just did on the second web page right up here. So this, it's like the path you do. I didn't know that the first time. I didn't know what the heck was going on the first time. And then dash dash bootstrap. So you want to do bootstrap like the first time you're ever installing it. I guess if you would reinstall a different version of Ubuntu, you don't have to do this, but I'm not 100% sure. I was just reading the instructions, so I'm gonna hit enter. Oh, I did miss a step. So you have to reboot into. So I'm gonna leave this like this. You have to reboot into the bootloader. There we go. So for the Nexus 4, press volume, let's see, mega. Press and hold the down, volume down, and then the power. Alright, so there's my manual fast boot mode. I held the volume down key and the power button. Sorry, this video is probably gonna suck. So here, after I booted into fastboot, it happened pretty quick. Expects the device to be in bootloader, so it looks like it's connected, I think. Hopefully it didn't mess anything up. Oh, here we go. So as you can see on the phone, it's starting the Ubuntu installation. So now it might be installing. So pretty much it installs by itself once it gets going. I had a message on the phone that I haven't had last time, probably because it realizes I haven't installed it before, but I did wipe it and reinstall Android, so I'm not sure about all that. But for the first time, it should, I think for the most part, it goes automatically. You don't even have to touch anything. And it did take a little while. I don't know if mine will not take quite as long, or I'm not sure about all that, because I have installed it once. language you want. No SIM card, I'm going to skip that. And then I'm going to do a Wi-Fi for time zone, so I'm going to put Phoenix. So here's Ubuntu Touch. So first of all, here's your main, wouldn't say home page, but this would be like, this would be it. This would be your main home page type thing. There's no there's no background, area or anything like that. You can swipe from the left. I have a case on, so it's kind of hard, but you can swipe from the left side here. Wow, I should really take off this case. There you go. And then you have a toolbar, and you can add apps to this. You can take apps from it, I think, but it's basic stuff. It's not really bloatware or anything like that. Have internet browser and things of that nature. So I think for the most part, Ubuntu, it's kind of a mixture of Android and Apple, because you do have certain freedoms that you don't have in Apple, but at the same time, you don't have as much freedom as you would in Android. So it's saying I need a password to go into developer mode. So I'm just going to create a 4-digit passcode, I guess. Something easy. Alrighty, so now I'm going to go back. Developer mode, check. Okay, so here's developer mode. You can change or delete anything on this device by connecting it to another device. So basically, if you want to connect it back to your Windows computer or your Ubuntu computer, you can have different admin accesses, things of that nature. I'm not going to get into that completely, because I think the most important part will be what can you do with this that you can also do with your Android, because Android is so versatile. There's so many apps that you can do and interact with your home computer, syncing stuff and whatnot already. So I'll just go back to the App Store. So here's the Ubuntu App Store. It'll probably have me sign in to use it. I already have an account, so that's fine. Oh, maybe not. So there is a bunch of apps and games and stuff that you can use for it. Obviously, if you're really big into Linux, some of the apps will probably be here. Here's just the top scopes, it says. So you have your different categories, stuff. Like you'll find, here's the categories. So these are some of your different categories you would have. So for instance, if you're not going to be using Ubuntu for, work or business or something productive, I guess you would say, I'm just going to go to games. And it's not like Android or it's not like Apple, where you simply have just a bunch of games. You can't just download Toss the Turtle. So in that aspect, it's a little restrictive, but it's not restrictive because they don't want that stuff on there. It's only restrictive because developers, companies aren't making the apps because it's a very new platform and no one uses it. So why would they waste their time and make an app for something that no one's going to really use the platform of. So productivity apps, in case you want to do something, productive. A lot of these apps I don't really know about. I'm just kind of showing them in case you know about them. Then it might help you figure out if you want to even install Ubuntu or not. So let's go to show all. So this is the kind of the part of the video I wanted to see on YouTube, but it wasn't really there. No one really showed you what apps you could or couldn't really get for it. A lot of the mainstream apps, you're not really going to have. You will have. I'll show you in a minute, but you should have the web-based apps. Like Twitter or Facebook or something like that, where it's basically just a shortcut to a website, basically. So a lot of these apps are made specifically for this Ubuntu phone. It's really not too terribly impressive if you want to replace your Android phone. So it looks like they do have like a Twitter app. Looks like they have a Facebook app. Looks like they have a Messenger app. Not really sure. I don't think they might have an Instagram app. I'm not too sure about that. Let's see. I don't think they have a Snapchat. Yeah, this doesn't look like they have a Snapchat app. Trying to think of other ones I knew. I don't even think they have VLC. I think I tried to look that up before. So they have a VLC control. I'm pretty sure I looked it up before, and it's just a remote app, kind of like the Kodi remote app. Yeah, so it's a remote control for Ubuntu. So they don't even. They do have a built-in music player. They do have terminal. It's already built in. And you can SSH into the phone from, like a computer, a Ubuntu computer, I think. They might have some Raspberry Pi stuff there. The Python stuff. So basically, if you want to replace your Android phone with this, I don't think it'll be a good idea, just because the versatility will essentially be gone, because the stuff you already use your Android phone for, you can't really use it. You can't use everything for this. I do a lot of stuff with the Raspberry Pi, and I do a lot of stuff with Ubuntu, and I didn't see what was quite so amazing about the Ubuntu phone. Sure, you can do different stuff. You can sync between, you can share music, basic things like that. But to really use this as your daily phone, I can't do it. And then one app that I use is called Turbo Client. I'm sure I could use another FTP type app, but let's see if they have FTP. But I'm really used to what I'm using, and considering when I type in FTP, 2 things come up. On Android, 1 million things come up. So it does limit you, but not necessarily the software. The software is not limiting. It's mainly just developers not developing for it, because why would they? No one uses it really. I did try the UNAV. It was okay. It looks more like a topographical map than anything else, and it's not super accurate at all. They do have a gallery, they have Gmail installed, they have a music thing, file manager. I might try to do a video later on a Ubuntu tablet. I think Ubuntu tablet would be a lot better, but at the same time, the main reason I use my tablet is, let's see, to watch Netflix and Hulu and YouTube and whatever else. So let's just see if there's for one, say there's a YouTube app. I know I can go to youtube.com on the browser, but it won't quite be the same. So it looks like there is a YouTube equivalent app, I would say. Let's see if there's a Netflix. You can on Ubuntu for sure, because I've done it. On Ubuntu you can watch Netflix on the internet browser like you would on a Windows computer. They allow you to do that now. Like before, no Linux distro would allow you to do that, I guess, because a driver, not a driver issue, but a software issue. I think they needed Silverlight or the equivalent to run that. But on Ubuntu you can now, Ubuntu 16 at least. So there's no Netflix app for your phone, so it would really be useless for me to even try a Ubuntu tablet, even though I still want to. Maybe on the Nexus 7. But that's just my quick video of how to install and kind of like what it looks like. It's not, it doesn't look bad. It's just there's no apps for it. I haven't tried it with a SIM card yet. I haven't tried the texting or anything like that yet, because I was just playing around seeing what I could do. But so now I'm going to reinstall Android per the instruction, and then I'm going to see if I can reinstall the backup that I used. So let's see, reinstalling and restoring Android. Boom. This is for Occam. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but so I'm going to do this link here, which is just, actually no, wait, sorry, Nexus 4, I think, yeah, I'm just going to do this one here, 5.1.1. so download the Android of your choosing. So I'm going to go 5.1.1, but download this onto your Ubuntu machine, or if you are using the same Windows machine, whatever machine you want to install it on, extract the files on that machine, if that makes any sense. So I'm just going to extract the files onto my Ubuntu machine. Kind of like you would just a Windows machine. I don't have a good screen recorder on here. So I'm going to go into it. I'm going to find the image file that I'm going to use. Alright, so after you extract the file, which I did it not on the terminal, I just right clicked and extracted it. That's all you have to do. And then you want to move the step number 2 here. So move into the extract directory. So basically you can see what directory you're in by hitting ls. So basically I'm on like the home directory. So I need to move into the Occam LMY48T directory. So you can go to CD and you're just going to type that in. So OCCAM or whatever your directory is, move into that exactly how it's written, like that. So now you're going to go to ls, and that shows you what's in that directory. But now that you're in it, connect your device to your computer. you should already be connected. And then to see if it's connected, do this command here, ADB devices. I spelled devices wrong. How do you spell devices? Devices. So I'm connected there. So I'm not going to put that code that I just used because it's on the screen here. I'm not going to put it in the description because the code's going to be specific to you more than likely. So we are connected and we're in this directory. So that's what we have to do. And then it says reboot the device into bootloader mode. So ADB reboot bootloader. So it says you need to be in the extract directory for this to work, basically. It's going to delete everything, but we already have a save file, and I don't think you want to save the Ubuntu, so I'm just going to type in this command here. I'll put this in the description. It does say in some cases you may need to sudo that command. It doesn't look like I have to. So now that you have reinstalled Android, did a really basic setup, and enabled enabled developer mode, and then enable USB debugging. After you do all that, make sure it's not turning off. To restore the backup, says basically what I just said. Then open up terminal, which we already have one open. We're going to put in this code here. I'll put that in the description. So you're going to do, so first you got to move to the directory that the file's in. So CD to go all the way back out, and then LS to look and see what's inside. Oh, I didn't see it because it was in white. So yeah, it is in this directory. It's right next to downloads to the left. So you gotta get in this directory. So actually no, we're in this directory. So it says so we're in that directory. So then you do ADB restore backup.ab. AB. I didn't change the name or anything, so it's pretty much just with the instructions, and then I guess enter. Now it says unlock your device. So then now you're gonna pick restore, and then it should be restoring. I'm gonna find out how much it actually restores. It'd be kind of cool if it restores all your apps and my king root and all that. Alright, so the restore looks like it's done, and it looks like might have actually worked because I didn't have any bloatware before. So it doesn't look like it's still rooted. But this is the same setup I had just about before so I didn't have any data, or I didn't have any documents saved or anything like that, so I think for the most part it's okay. Purify's on there, but my king root's not on there, so I don't think it's not like 100% restoration, I guess you would say, but I did put this background on there, and it has some of the apps that I took off, but it doesn't have all of them that I took off. So like some apps came back and some are still gone, so not exactly sure what that means, but I guess it works for the most part.